Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to this cricket show, the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram today on a Sunday. Well, in this particular Cricket Happening Show, I'm going to start off with the Caribbean Premier League, the inaugural Caribbean Premier League finals, which happened between Jamaica Tallawahs and the Guyana Amazon Warriors. And Jamaica Tallawahs were the newly crowned champions of the inaugural Caribbean Premier League 2013 when they won the match by 7 wickets at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain, when they beat the Guyana Amazon Warriors by a 7-wicket margin. But yesterday it was Chris Gayle, the captain, who led the way, decided to bide his time and played till such time that Jamaica Tallawahs gained victory. Well, the target was not something which was a small target. The target was a very reachable target of 125. First, it was some good bowling from the Jamaica Tallawahs bowlers, and then Chris Gayle making 47 unbeaten runs. And Andre Russell, as you know, he has been one of those persons who has been the highest scorer as far as this Caribbean Premier League is concerned. He went on to make a very quick fire 33 unbeaten runs of 18 balls with 5 fours and 1 6. And what a moment for Andre Russell, being with his captain Chris Gayle of Jamaica Tallawahs, to go there and win the trophy for the team. So the Chris Gayle, the captain of Jamaica Tallawahs, held the Caribbean Premier League trophy aloft after beating the Guyana Amazon Warriors by 7 wickets in the inaugural Caribbean Premier League 2013. So I'll be talking about that. And then we will talk about the Ashes Test Series. Now, Ashes Test Series won, as you know, let me first tell you the outcome. The Ashes Test Series is all over, with England taking it 3-0, but not without a lot of excitement and drama, as Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, brought a match which was absolutely lifeless. If you look at the score, they were 247 for 4 on the 4th day. Play was totally washed out, and today England had to resume. And Michael Clarke, as you know, he's one of those challenging captains who likes to take a challenge. And what was very, very good to see about, or I admire about the Australian captain Michael Clarke, is the fact that he knew that if Australia were to lose this match, England for the first time would have inflicted a 4-0 Ashes defeat. It has never happened in the Ashes history where England has inflicted a 4-0 defeat on Australia. Well, that would have happened, and despite that, let's look at what Michael Clarke did. Well, I'll come to that later, but and as I said, the match, it was a target which was given to England of 226. In the end, it was the rain and bad light which didn't allow the match to go the old hog, but was very, very interestingly placed. And finally, with 21 runs more required and 4 overs to go, the umpires had to call off play. Very unfortunate a very unfortunate end to such a challenging declaration being made by the very, very bold and daring captain, the Australian captain, Michael Clarke. I would like to doff my hat to Michael Clarke for bringing in such excitement and bringing the crowd. This is what brings the crowds in, and Michael Clarke is such a captain, you can be assured. I think there is only one captain today in the game presently, in this present era, who can do such a thing, where he can declare and bring the match to total life. So I'll come to that later. Let's talk about the Caribbean Premier League 2013. The inaugural Caribbean Premier League 2013, yesterday was the finals of the Caribbean Premier League 2013, played between Jamaica Tallawahs and Guyana Amazon Warriors. Guyana Amazon Warriors were the ones to first take strike, and they made 128 for 5, thanks to some very, very good bowling from the Jamaica Tallawahs bowlers initially, with Bernard returning figures of 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 18. Vernon Philander, 3 overs, very, very economical, only 8 runs coming off that. Nikita Miller, the left-arm spinner, 4 overs, 27 runs on 1 wicket. Muttiah Muralitharan, as usual, he really showing his wares there. 4 overs, no maiden, none for 13. He brought his best into the final, I would say. Chris Gayle, 4 overs, 1 for 42, was the man to really receive some tap there. Andre Russell, 1 over for 12 runs. As far as the Guyana Amazon Warriors were concerned, Lendl Simmons at the top made 40 runs from 44 balls with 3 fours and 2 sixes. 14 coming in from Perkins of 17 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. Dinesh Ramadhan contributing a very good 29 of 34 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. And Franklin towards the end due to wickets falling. It was left to James Franklin to really do some big hitting and get an unbeaten 17 under his belt of 9 deliveries with 2 fours. So 128 for 5 was the final score for the Guyana Amazon Warriors, which was not a good score considering that it was the finals of the inaugural Caribbean Premier League, but credit to the Jamaica Tallawahs bowlers. As far as Jamaica Tallawahs were concerned, they were faced with a very easy target, I would say, of 129, but they didn't have a good start. In fact, Chadwick Walton, after making an aggressive 13 of 9 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, was the first victim, LBW bowled Dilshan for 13. After that, Kumar Sangakkara, the other day was the anchor man along with Andre Russell, but today Kumar Sangakkara disappointed as he was caught. Franklin bowled Barnwell for 13 with no boundaries. And then Chris Gayle was there, but Chris Gayle was a person who was not really, he was hitting the strokes, he was just waiting. He knew that the target was a very small target, he could take his time, and that's what he precisely did. He lost Blackwood, who was cotton bowled Malinga for 3, but he got a very, very good partner in Andre Russell, who was in the pink form, is in absolute pink form in this Caribbean Premier League. And Andre Russell gave him company from 67 for 3 in the 12th over. It was Jamaica Tallawahs racing to victory with Chris Gayle on an unbeaten 47 of 48 balls with 6 fours, and Andre Russell playing in only his way that he normally plays, that is aggressively, by cracking an unbeaten 33 of 18 balls with 5 fours and 1 6. And that was said, Jamaica Tallawahs were the proud winners. But one thing I would like to say, there was a little pressure on the Jamaica Tallawahs during the closing stages, but I thought Krishmar Santoki, who had actually bowled so well, and then he was guilty of bowling a lot of wides and bowling a lot of them out down the leg side, and Krishmar Santoki was named the player of the series. But in my opinion, if Krishmar Santoki had done very well, I would have really agreed to Krishmar Santoki being made man of the series. My man of the series would have been Andre Russell for his batting, but this is just my opinion. But Krishmar Santoki, as I said, if he had bowled very well in this particular match, I would have probably plumped for Krishmar Santoki. And let me tell you, Krishmar Santoki yesterday was guilty, but other than that, he did a wonderful job, and he has definitely made the West Indies cricket selectors take notice of him now. Lasith Malinga not in his element at all. 3.3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 28. Dilshan was also taken for runs, 4 overs for 32 runs on 1 wicket. Sunil Nareen was economical, 4 overs, no maiden, none for 9. He did his job there. And Barnwell's 2 overs cost him 26. So Chris Gayle of Jamaica Tallawahs, the captain, the proud captain of the Jamaica Tallawahs, winning the Caribbean Premier League 2013, was named man of the match, and the player of the series going to the very, very promising left-arm seamer from Guyana Amazon Warriors, Krishmar Santoki. Well, so from here, let's look into the Ashes. As I said, Ashes was absolutely meandering towards a draw. Today, nobody would have expected in the morning when England were 247 for 4, a long way to go. And well, England made 377 all out. They lost the wicket today. Matt Pryor got his highest score in this Ashes series, so he came into some good form. He made 47 with 8 fours, and then Broad was out for 9. Graham Swan contributing a very hard hit 34 of 24 balls with 5 fours and 1 6, and it was 377 all out for England. They added another 130 runs, so that essentially meant that they conceded a 115 run lead to Australia. Now Mitchell Starc took 3 wickets for 92, but the person who really took a lot of wickets today was James Faulkner, who on his debut had career best figures of 19.4 overs, 3 maidens, 51 runs and 4 wickets. Ryan Harris had 2 for 64 and 1 for 59 for Nathan Lyon. Now considering that the total was 115 runs in ahead, Australia right from the word go, in fact Michael Clarke decided that attack is the way he is going to go. By looking at the batting lineup that Michael Clarke had, it definitely, everyone got the feeling that Australia are going for it. And I mean, in the sense, Australia were probably trying to make a match out of it and give all the excitement to the spectators. So what Michael Clarke did is, David Warner and Shane Watson were the ones who opened the batting, and they were meaning business right from day one, right from the ball 1, and David Warner played a bit too early to Anderson and prodded a catch to Anderson. Anderson taking a very good catch, in fact, diving to his right. So he was gone for 12 of 28 balls with 2 fours. It was absolutely one-day stuff there, and the one drop it was a surprise as James Faulkner was sent in as one drop to really put some sort of fire into the proceedings along with Shane Watson. But Watson was gone as he was gone. Caught Peterson bowled Swan for 26 of 32 balls with 2 4s and 1 6. And after James Faulkner, it was Brad Haddin. Now, Brad Haddin, one thing I would like to tell you, that Brad Haddin also equaled in the when England were all out for 377. Brad Haddin had this very unique distinction of equaling the world record for the most dismissals in a Test series, also held by an former Australian wicketkeeper, Rodney Marsh, now a selector, not a selector, in fact, Rodney Marsh, the former wicketkeeper, who held 28 dismissals, and Brad Haddin actually had 28 dismissals when England were out for 377. So he equaled the world record. But Brad Haddin with the bat couldn't do much as he was out for a duck, and Broad once again came in and ripped up 4 wickets by first getting Brad Haddin caught behind for a duck. Then he had James Faulkner caught behind of Broad after making 22 of 22 balls with 1 4. Shane Watson contributed the highest score. I mean, he made 26 of 32 balls with 2 4s and 1 6. And as I said, it was totally one-day stuff. Michael Clarke was there unbeaten on 28 of 28 balls with 3 4s. They lost Steve Smith. As I said, Broad was the one who ripped up the wickets there as Stephen Smith was sent ahead and he was gone. Chris Rogers was kept aside. As you know, Chris Rogers is more of a person who likes to nurdle the ball. So Michael Clarke went with the right approach in promoting all his aggressive batsmen on the top of the order. But Ryan Harris was bowled by Broad and Mitchell Starc was not out 13. Michael Clarke with the score reaching 111 for 6. He really we all knew that Australia were Michael Clarke had decided that he's going to set a target for England, but it really required lots of guts. Even though Australia were in the dumps in this particular Ashes series, they could have also lost this particular Test match. And as I said, never has England inflicted a 4-0 series on Australia. And despite that, he took the gamble of going for broke, as Australia declared the innings close at 111 for 6, with 4 wickets for 43 for Broad, Graham, Swan and Anderson sharing 1 wicket. Well, so 111 for 6, that meant a target of 226 for England, 227 in fact, to actually win the match. And England also, one has to really commend them that they accepted the challenge. Well, they had nothing to lose, absolutely, but again they accepted the challenge of making 227 runs. And in my opinion, they had around the overs that were left is probably they had 44 overs in which actually to make the 227 runs needed for victory. And the crowd, absolutely, we had a holiday crowd here on a Sunday, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. And well, as far as England were concerned, they started off with losing their wicket of Joe Root. And that was the one, and when Joe Root was out, it was Brad Haddin behind the wickets, breaking the world record for the most dismissals in a Test series by picking up the scalp of Joe Root behind the wicket. What a beautiful take it was by Brad Haddin of the bowling of Harris to dismiss Joe Root for 11 with 2 boundaries. And Brad Haddin now holds the world record as far as wicketkeeper is concerned, to having had 29 dismissals in a Test series. And what a proud moment for Brad Haddin. He has been in the woes as far as batting is concerned. Then he came good. Slowly tried to bear his form. Then the Australian selectors brought him back into the team, and here he is holding on to a world record now. And that is something. It is going to take a real, really something to beat that record of 29 dismissals in a Test series. Well, after that, Alistair Cook was joined in by Jonathan Trott. Jonathan Trott decided to really play the anchor role to perfection. Alistair Cook also started playing some strokes, and Alistair Cook, when he reached 34, his wicket was gone as Faulkner got a ball which was absolutely straight in line of the stumps, and Alistair Cook was trapped LBW. He was gone for 34 with 4 boundaries. Kevin Peterson came in and injected life into everything. Once Kevin Peterson came, there was absolutely lot of urgency to the proceedings, as Kevin Peterson played some marvelous strokes, and he was attacking the bowlers, he was moving around the crease, and he was meaning real business, and he contributed 62 of 55 balls with 10 fours, and also becoming the English player to have the highest score, in the sense the He has the highest totals in all the three formats of the game. What a player Kevin Pietersen is. And Jonathan Trott, as I said, he was digging himself in, and he made 59 with 6 boundaries. After that, Ian Bell was run out for 17, and Chris Wokes also stroked the ball sweetly and smoothly to make an unbeaten 17 of 13 balls with 1-4. And when everything was looking like England was slowly attaining the target, that is the time the light meters came out, when umpire Alim Dar and Kumar Dharmasena decided that the light was not fit enough to play, and the play was called off. What a pity, after Michael Clarke declared the innings closed and set a target for England. Still the match should be ending in such a manner. It is a real pity, but yes, that was it. That was the final outcome of the match. 206 for 5. England actually missing the target at 21 runs. And as far as bowling was concerned, 2 for 21 for Ryan Harris. Stark was very costly, none for 48. He was all over the place. He was mercilessly hit by Kevin Pietersen in particular. Siddle 3 overs for 16. Nathan Lyon 10 overs, none for 44. Also got some tap from Pietersen. 2 for 47 for Faulkner, who was very impressive in this particular match. The man of the match went to Shane Watson of Australia for his magnificent 176. And the player of the series was shared between England player Ian Bell and Ryan Harris of Australia, and I thought that was the right way to go. Well, dear fans and subscribers, but one has to commend Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, to have declared, as I said, what a captain. I think Australia are really having a captain who enjoys challenges and likes to go for the jugular. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, this is your host Ram, ending the cricket show for today. But as usual, tomorrow you will once again see me on this Cricket Happening show. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.